What's up, everybody? Tim Anderson here, aka Renfell. How y'all doing today? We're going to be diving back into the next episode of my Discovering Pathfinder series, where I continue to educate myself on all things Starfinder and ask questions of you, the experts who are out there watching these videos, who can share your online resources and other tips and tricks with me as I continue to dive deeper into this universe. I think the ultimate objective, at least for me at this point, because I know fantasy and I know that I will be able to jump into Pathfinder much easier. I'm going to attempt to get into Starfinder first. So the first thing I'm doing is reading up on the Starfinder core rulebook and getting myself familiar with all of the various things I need to know. And then as we get towards the end of this series, I will begin to actively start to look for a group to join. I don't want to DM a group. I'm really hoping I don't have to. I've been DMing for like 25 years, 30 years now without. No, it hasn't been 30 years since I've played, but it's been 25ish since I've been able to just play as someone in a party. So hopefully some of you out there are running campaigns. I wouldn't mind joining like a one-off, like a one-shot adventure, or coming in for a guest spot in a campaign that's ongoing just to get a chance to sink my teeth into it. Regardless, today we're going to be diving into the character themes, which, as I understand it, are like the backgrounds. These are kind of like the extra curricular focuses of your character beyond their class, which kind of give you some additional points. That's how I understand the themes. We're going to be diving into this today. If you like what you see here today, obviously don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and please support if you can. You can do super chats on these premieres and live streams, super thanks on uploaded videos, and after the fact, you can also do memberships. There's 3 different tiers. We do have our own Patreon page for our tabletop world point-and-click adventure game and book series, so hopefully you'll check that out as well. In the meantime, let's dive in here because we've got some unique themes here. It says a character theme represents a focus for your character, which may be a result of your background, upbringing, training, or mystic destiny. You select a character theme at first level, gaining special benefits that reflect major aspects of that theme at 1st, 6th, 12th, and 18th levels. All abilities are extraordinary abilities unless otherwise noted. With your GM's permission, you can even create your own theme that fits your character concept perfectly. So there's Ace Pilot, Bounty Hunter, Icon, Mercenary, Outlaw, Priest, Scholar, Spacefarer, Zend Seeker, or Themeless. Okay. So these are... Oh man. This is crazy. I'm looking through this here real quick. So I just scrolled down here to the first one, and this is the Ace Pilot. So it's theme knowledge. You're obsessed with starships and vehicles. You've committed to every relevant bit of knowledge you've ever come across. You get reduced culture checks. If you're so at 6th level, you get Lone Wolf. Whenever you attempt a skill check other than during sword, you can treat half your ranks in piloting. Okay. Need for speed at 12th level. Gives you heady rush. You can easily handle operating. So these are like perks. Are there any cons to having... That's a good question. I'm not seeing any cons here. Here's a con. In the Need for Speed one, for example, when you take the double maneuver action during a vehicle chase, reduce the penalty for each action by 1. Whenever piloting check is a penalty for failing by 5 or more, you take that penalty only if you fail by 10 or more. Oh no, that's not really a con though. So are there cons to these? I'm not seeing any negatives to these. So am I missing something here? Because obviously, anytime you have a perk in other games, whether it's, like let's say if I was playing Fallout, the perks have a pro and a con. And traditionally, I'm going to scroll down to the races here real quick because I don't know if the races have pros and cons like they do in other games here. Okay, they do. So I quickly skipped ahead to the races section, and as an example, which we're not covering races today, I just wanted to quickly see they do have pros and cons. So +2 dex, +2 int, -2 charisma as an example with androids. So that's good to know that we have pros and cons for the various races. So let's go back to these. So Ace Pilot obviously is going to be focused on piloting. Bounty Hunter, you track people down for money, possibly with a code of ethics. Not necessarily, though. An icon? What is an icon? Thanks to interstellar transmissions and drift travel, the galaxy is smaller than ever, and this connectivity has facilitated your ascension to celebrity status. You might be a famous performer or a celebrated scientist, but either way, you get recognized on the packed worlds and in associated systems. Your reason for traveling to unknown worlds might be to further spread your acclaim or to escape the limelight. Here's another question I have for everybody out there who might be Starfinder experts. Is there an additional source book that has additional themes that you can quickly reference? Because these are obviously the ones that came with the core rulebook. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 10, right? But are there any additionals that they have in an easily accessed source book? Good food for thought. A mercenary is that's a mercenary. That one's pretty easy. Outlaw. So, okay, these are, for someone who, like me, is mostly familiar with 5th edition and Dungeons and Dragons, this works exactly like backgrounds. There's really no negatives to them. They're just additional things that you could put into your character. You get a bonus for them, some bonus abilities, so on and so forth. Let's go down, though, to where do they explain timeless or themeless characters? Oh, okay, here it goes. It says here, I guess this is explained on the main page for character themes at the bottom here. So let's read through this real quick. Themeless characters. If you decide that none of the themes above fit your particular character concept, you can choose not to have a theme. You then gain the following benefits at the listed level. A themeless character is considered less powerful than a character with a theme, so choose this option with care. So at first level, you would gain general knowledge, which means you gain a class skill of your choice when you create a themeless character. Also, you gain an ability adjustment of +1 to any ability score you choose. That's kind of cool. Certainty at 6th level. Once per day before you roll a skill check, you can gain a +2 bonus to that skill for that check. So that's going to be handy for those times when you're going up against a really hard DC. Do they say DC in Starfinder? Is it difficulty check or is it something else? Extensive studies, 12th level. Choose a skill that is a class skill for you. Once per day, you can re-roll one such skill check before learning the results of the roll. You must take the second result even if it is worse. Once per day. Re-roll one such skill check. Okay. 18th, you get Steely Determination, which increases your pool of resolve points by 1. That doesn't sound too bad. So it's basically, you could choose to take one of these themes, or you can choose not to have a theme and choose your own sort of perks as you go along. It's all very interesting. I think for me, man, I don't know what I would want to play yet, but I can tell you that my gut reaction is that based on what I've played in the past, I would either be going for, well, I don't know, I'm torn. Based on what I played in the past, it would probably be a cross between like maybe a bounty hunter or a spacefarer, possibly an outlaw. All of those are good options. However, I had this idea this morning. I was sitting here thinking about, I've never played a healer in a tabletop game before. And I was thinking about the idea of what it would be like to play a healer for a group of adventurers and just being like the strategic behind the scenes, back in the background, maybe doing the occasional damage as needed, but mostly focused on defenses and protections and all this other stuff. And as I understand it, they blend magic with spells, or excuse me, magic with science in this game, because I don't quite understand how that works yet because I haven't gotten to that point. I'll be reading more up on that as I continue to read through. So my gut reaction after looking at this right off the bat is I think, man, like my number one would probably be an outlaw. I could have fun playing an outlaw, but also I could have fun playing a bounty hunter. Spacefarer would be my third option, though. It'd be like outlaw, bounty hunter, spacefarer. I wouldn't mind doing a priest, but it would have to be the right group that I knew was going to be getting into trouble a lot and not playing it by the book, because otherwise, what's the point of rolling a healer if you don't ever need those healing abilities, right? I don't know. Anyway, thanks for listening to me as I ramble my way through the second video in my Discovering Starfinder series here. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you can continue to get updates as I go deeper into Starfinder and beyond. Thanks for those of you who have more information. Drop those down in the comments below. If you want to, you can reach out to me individually on Discord as well to hit me up with links to other resources that I can go look at. Some of you have been very kind. I've hopefully responded to everybody's comments over the last week or so that people have been coming. We've had like a pretty significant boost throughout January. I mean, we're over 500 new members to the channel, which is awesome. And I got a whole lot of people who are participating in the conversations and giving me, I mean, I've probably had 40 or 50 people reach out in the last like 3 days just giving me links to all sorts of online resources to continue to, investigate things. So thank you so much to all of you for doing so. To those of you who can, please support the channel. You can drop a super chat on these premieres. You can also do super thanks after the fact. Don't forget the memberships, the Patreon page, our Discord channel. All the links are below. I'll see everybody in the next episode. Thank you so much, everybody. Until then, stay safe and happy gaming.